So today actually is the 11th of December, but I didn't film yesterday because yesterday was 10th December, which is my brother's birthday, and we usually have the Jethro Daniel Memorial Lecture to commemorate that day. And so it was yesterday and I was really busy and couldn't film, and so I'm filming today instead of yesterday. But I will still be talking about my day yesterday and more importantly about how I remembered my brother this year. And keep watching if you want to see how we as a family want him to be remembered and how you as my viewers can remember him as well. Now, if you don't know my story, if you don't know my brother's story, my brother is Jethro Daniel and he passed away 4 years back, so in 2015, at the age of 19 and a half. And he was a disabled boy. He had no control over his limbs, over his speech, over anything basically in his body except his shoulder, which he used to move forward and communicate his thoughts and ideas by using it as a pointer to alphabets, just like a mouse would work. And so if you want to hear my story and my brother's story, I will link a couple of things down below for you to see. So he passed away 4 years ago, and since he passed away in July 2015, and then the first birthday after that, we decided, or my family decided, that we wanted his life to continue living, and we wanted to remember him in a way that he would want to be remembered, and that is by influencing people, because all he did in his life was always look outward, look outside himself, and only think about the community, not about his physical limitation ever. And so he thought about people, and so we thought to remember him we should think about people too. And so we started this forum called the Jethro Daniel Memorial Lecture, which is a forum where we bring together people from different walks of life, professionals, bureaucrats, students, people from the hotel management industry, bankers, creative people, everybody, like basically anybody and everybody we invite to this forum, which is jointly hosted by one of our local hotels, which is the Vivanta by Taj Surya, and Vita International, which is my dad's company. So we created this forum where all of these professionals, bureaucrats, whoever it is, will be brought together in one place to challenge them about their role and responsibility in society and their duty towards the other members of society. And so we've been having it every year without fail in the month of December around his birthday, and this time the topic was Foundations of a Great Nation. And coincidentally, we had 3 things that were releasing on the day, 3 releases that were related to how we are trying in our own way to build the foundations of our nation. So I'm sharing this with you because many people remember their family members, remember their loved ones in very different ways, but for us as a family, the more important thing to remember him was to live like him and influence others to live like him. That's the important part of what we wanted to share with the world, and that's why we continue to do things like this. And so yesterday we released 3 things. One was a book in Braille to reach out to the visually impaired community, and a book in Tamil, which is a book of Jethro's poems, which was previously available in English, and we had someone really great translate it into Tamil. And we also had a video, a documentary titled Talent Discovery and Development of the Otherwise Abled, which is an encouraging documentary for people to see, to realize that they need to support the discovery and development of talents of the otherwise able community without writing them off. We saw that in our lives. We saw how talented Jethro was, and at least my parents provided an environment for him to thrive. He was able to write poetry, he was able to share his thoughts, he was able to give his ideas, many of which are currently being used, and there were so many of his ideas that he gave. And so that that was the way he lived his life, and he lived only 19.5 years, and I don't think many of us in that time would have done as much as he did for the world. And he continues to be influencing lives because his story reaches many places. It plays in our mind that he did so much, how much more should we? And that was the whole point of the Jethro Daniel Memorial Lecture. This lecture was given by my dad using Jethro's own poems. He has 11 poems on different topics, and he talked about basic values of truth, of obedience, of love that needs to permeate into our lives and permeate into the lives of our family, our children, and then go out into the world and transform everybody in the world. It begins with our own transformation, and then it moves on to the transformation of the world in whatever way possible, because all of us are sitting in different places of influence, and there is something that we can do in that place of influence. And so this was the way we remembered him, because we remembered him for who he was and used him as a reminder to ourselves and as a reminder to those present on this occasion that if this boy who was completely disabled, so he was 100% disabled, could do and think of not himself but others, then shouldn't we be thinking the same way? And many times we as people are caught up in thinking about ourselves, our families, our lives, settling ourselves down in this world. But I think there's more to life than that, and Jethro lived that kind of life. He was outward looking, he was contributive, he was productive in his time here on earth. And I think as I ended the program, I'm ending this video in the same way that he did this part, and it is time for us to do ours. And so I thought I would share with you how I remembered my brother yesterday, how we remembered Jethro as a family and as a community, remembering his contribution and reminding ourselves that we too have a duty to contribute to this society. And so that's all I have to share with you today.